The late Chaplain Colonel Herman Keizer Jr. led a life and career defined by his faith and dedicated service. Survived by his wife of 53 years, Ardis Keizer, and his two children, Bryan and Randall Keizer, his memory lives on through them. In remembering her husband, Mrs. Keizer notes that Chaplain Keizer was introduced to the idea of military chaplaincy upon being drafted and serving as a chaplain assistant at Fort Belvoir. He first attended Calvin College and was compelled to leave for Chicago to earn money for his tuition. After he returned to Calvin, he was drafted into the Army and became a chaplain assistant at Fort Belvoir in Virginia. Following this 2-year military service in the U.S. Army Reserve, he returned to the college and completed his bachelor's degree before attending the seminary. Upon completing his education, he returned to the Army. It was an interesting pivot in his career direction because divinity students were exempt from the draft. Because he left to support his college education, his classification changed and he was drafted. He came out of the Army as a private first class. Chaplain Keizer served as the co-director of soul repair at Bright Seminary in Texas, which was part of the moral injury and soul repair project that spanned across Michigan and California. Additionally, he was a consultant and writer for the Calvin Institute of Christian Worship from 2002 until 2017. Starting in 2009, he became a chaplain and U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom through the Office of International Religious Freedom under the U.S. Department of State. One of the more interesting moments in Chaplain Keizer's career occurred right after 9/11 transpired. He had worn his uniform that day when he went to work, which he never had to do when he was working at the State Department. He was supposed to go to the Pentagon that day to address a group of chaplains from around the country. Tragically, fate had other plans. Due to the terrorist attack, he ended up doing counseling work in the area. Because of the bomb threats on the premises, he told people to go home in order to be safe. The people he spoke to believed him because he was wearing a uniform. The next day, he received a call from Secretary of State Colin Powell, who thanked him for doing the right thing, an acknowledgement that was subsequently made official in a framed memento. In addition, he also worked at the Moral Injury PTSD Center at Grand Valley State University. After his passing, the Keizer family found reminders of Chaplain Keizer, sometimes in unlikely places. In his spare time, Chaplain Keizer enjoyed reading, singing, community theater, and raising tomatoes. Once his harvest had grown to maturity, he would take these tomatoes and cook a delicious tomato soup. In fact, years after his passing, Mrs. Keizer found a frozen container of his soup and upon reheating it, found that it tasted as vibrant and tasty as ever, reminding his wife of the care and pride he took in the process. Reminders like these help keep the memory of Chaplain Keizer alive, and his family serves as a living memorial to the lives he touched and the fine work that he was able to do.